Topic: the Jahmiyyah deviation in creed and its impact on the Ummah. The necessity of knowing the Jahmiyyah. Knowing the Jahmiyyah is essential for every Muslim. This is because this ideology has infiltrated many of those who call themselves Muslims and has led people astray. The influence of the Jahmiyyah in the Muslim world. The Jahmiyyah are very numerous. The majority of governments in the Muslim world, and those who are loyal to these governments, hold Jahmiyyah beliefs. They have misled the people and punish others based on their own ideologies. Distinctive creedal characteristics of the Jahmiyyah. Part 1. Prominent traits of the Jahmiyyah. 1. They do not consider befriending disbelievers a problem. They say that if someone befriends disbelievers, there is no issue and it does not take them out of Islam. 2. Major sins have no effect on faith. This way of thinking brings them close to the Murji'ah. 3. They permit aiding disbelievers. They claim that even if someone supports disbelievers, they are still not a disbeliever. 4. They permit altering the Sharia of Allah. They say that even if someone changes or substitutes the Sharia, they do not become a disbeliever. 5. They do not consider a statement of disbelief as actual disbelief. They argue that even if someone utters a word of disbelief with their tongue, they are still not a disbeliever. Denial of Allah's attributes. The Jahmiyyah deny the attributes of Allah. They argue, if we affirm that Allah has attributes, Tawhid monotheism is destroyed and Shirk polytheism occurs. In their view, affirming attributes for Allah leads to the misconception that Allah is multiple. This ideology has its roots in Ilm al-Kalam scholastic theology and Greek philosophy, not in the Quran and Sunnah. The Murji'ah, deviation in the definition of faith. The Jahmiyyah also align with the Murji'ah. The Murji'ah, especially the Ghulat extremists among them, say, faith iman is only the conviction of the heart, or knowledge of Allah, or sometimes accompanied by verbal confession. Action does not enter into the definition of faith. No matter how many sins you commit, even adultery, theft, or drinking alcohol, it has no effect on faith, and faith neither increases nor decreases. Origin of the Murji'ah. In contrast to the Khawarij, who declared major sinners as disbelievers, the Murji'ah emerged and said, no sin leads to disbelief. This deviation appeared in the late 1st and early 2nd centuries of the Hijra. Yam bin Safwan, the founder of the Jahmiyyah. Yam bin Safwan was a man from Tirmidh in present-day Uzbekistan in the region of Khorasan. He was born in Kufa and raised there. He was one of the extreme Jabriyyah. He claimed that man has no free will in any action and that Allah is the one who performs all actions. He began his call from Tirmidh. Yam's teacher, Ja'ad bin Dirham. Yam's teacher was Ja'ad bin Dirham. Ja'ad was the first person to deny the attributes of Allah. Yam learned from Ja'ad and adopted his methodology. Ja'ad bin Dirham was later executed for his disbelief. Execution of Ja'ad bin Dirham. In the year 124 Khalid bin Abdullah al-Kasri, the governor of Iraq, executed Ja'ad bin Dirham in Mina near Makkah due to his disbelief. Ja'ad, although he called himself a Muslim, held and propagated disbelieving ideologies. Exile and continued activities of Yam. After the execution of his teacher, Yam was exiled from Khorasan. He first went to Tirmidh, where he spread his disbelieving ideologies. He then went to Balkh in present-day Afghanistan, where he engaged in debates with scholars and jurists. Political activities of Yam. In addition to his disbelieving creeds, Yam also became involved in political matters. He allied with Harith bin Surayyi, who had revolted against the Umayyad government. In the year 128 after the defeat of Harith's uprising, Yam was killed in Merv Khorasan at the hands of Muslims. His death occurred in the early 2nd century of the Hijra. The Jahmiyyah and Ilm al-Kalam scholastic theology. The Jahmiyyah were the first group to propagate ilm al-kalam within Islam. They took this theology from Greek philosophers and the Jews. They derived their theories from Platonic philosophy. Their beliefs were completely opposed to Islam. Denial of Allah's attributes by the Jahmiyyah. The Jahmiyyah claimed, Allah the Exalted has no attributes. If anyone affirms an attribute for Allah, they are a mushrik polytheist. They denied the Sifat al-Kabariyya attributes affirmed by textual evidence, such as hand, face, and the throne. They also denied the Sifat al-Fi'liyya attributes related to Allah's actions, such as coming, creating, and ascending above the throne. They claimed, Allah's attributes are identical to His essence and are not distinct from it, meaning that Allah is not knowing by His knowledge, not powerful by His power, and not willing by His will. According to the consensus of the Salaf pious predecessors, whoever denies Allah's attributes is a disbeliever. The distorted definition of faith. The Jahmiyyah were also deviated in their definition of faith. Faith is merely knowing Allah. No action, even if it is an act of disbelief, harms faith. If a person utters a word of disbelief, they are still not a disbeliever. If a person performs an act of disbelief, they are still not a disbeliever. This ideology was taken from Greek philosophy and has its roots in Plato. Denial of Allah's speech and other attributes. The Jahmiyyah claimed, Allah never spoke to anyone. They denied Kalam Allah, the speech of Allah. They denied the attributes of hearing Sam, sight Basar, power Qudra, will Irada, and knowledge Ilm, or they considered them to be identical with Allah's essence. They were extreme Jabriyyah. They believed that man has no free will in any action. The takfir of the Jahmiyyah by the Salaf. The righteous Salaf declared the Jahmiyyah as disbelievers takfir, issued rulings of their disbelief, and deemed it permissible to kill them. The story of Yam and introducing his Lord. One day, Yam was asked, "Introduce to us your Lord." Yam, who denied Allah's attributes, was unable to answer. He stayed home for a while, then later returned and said, "Our Lord is Hawa, air, oxygen." They said to him, "You are a disbeliever." This story illustrates how denying Allah's attributes leads a person to open disbelief. Other deviations of the Jahmiyyah. They believed that hellfire will eventually perish. They said hellfire will come to an end. They took these beliefs from philosophy. The Ghulat extremists among the Murji'ah also took these ideas from the Jahmiyyah and spread them. Spread of the Jahmiyyah in Central Asia and Afghanistan. The Jahmiyyah spread in Transoxiana, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Afghanistan. In Greater Khorasan, these ideologies had a deep influence. Many people in these lands today are still affected by these ideas. The people of Afghanistan bear a heavy responsibility to recognize this deviation and to educate others. The Ash'ariyya and Maturidiyya, a continuation of the Jahmiyyah. The Ash'ariyya and Maturidiyya, who today are often referred to as al-Sunnah wa al-Jama'ah, are a continuation of the Jahmiyyah and Mu'tazila. They too took ilm al-kalam from Greek, Hindu, and Platonic philosophy. Their beliefs differ from the creed of the righteous Salaf. Muqatil bin Sulaiman, the one who broke the Jahmiyyah. Muqatil bin Sulaiman was one of the great scholars who stood against the Jahmiyyah. He exposed the Jahmiyyah and revealed their disbelieving ideologies to the people. The Jahmiyyah would only accept hadith if it conformed to their own reasoning. They claimed, the Quran is created, and Allah will not be seen in the hereafter. The Mu'tazila and the Jahmiyyah. The Mu'tazila branched off from the Jahmiyyah in the mid-2nd century AH. The Mu'tazila differed with the Jahmiyyah on certain issues such as predestination and free will. However, in the core principles of denying Allah's attributes and nullification ta'til, they agreed with the Jahmiyyah. Nasr bin Sayyir, the governor of Khorasan, requested a debate with Him, and after the debate, he deemed his creed to be one of disbelief. Conclusion and final warning. The Jahmiyyah continue to have influence among Muslims today. In many Muslim countries, many of those who call themselves Muslims hold Jahmiyyah beliefs. Governments that claim to be Muslim promote these very ideas to prevent people from rising against them. They deceive the people in order to remain in power. May Allah protect us and you from their evil, we hope, by Allah's will, for protection. Final summary, key characteristics of the Jahmiyyah. Aspect creed belief of the Jahmiyyah. Attributes of Allah complete denial they claim Allah has no attributes. Speech of Allah denial they say Allah has never spoken to anyone. Seeing Allah denial they say Allah will not be seen in the hereafter. Definition of faith only knowledge or conviction of the heart actions are not part of faith. Disbelief uttering words of disbelief, performing acts of disbelief, or befriending disbelievers does not make one a disbeliever. Predestination and free will absolute determinism man has no free will in any action. Hellfire they believe hellfire will eventually perish. Source of beliefs Greek philosophy Plato, Hindu thought, Judaism. Position of the Salaf declared them disbelievers takfir and deemed their killing permissible.